So I'd like to look at the definitions from Imagine 9. Nature of truth, definitions and criteria. The nature of truth. The following is the basis by which I use the terms truth and accuracy. It is my understanding that in presenting my view of what truth is, I am alone. In direct and absolute disagreement with the view I present here are all the scientists, artists, philosophers, spiritualists, historians, political writers, and scholars that I've ever heard of. Left, right, up, down, here, there, and everywhere. Naturally, being so alone in this view, I had to work out the explanations and definitions myself. To mention this lest the reader think I haven't heard how mistaken I am, regarding my understanding of what truth is. Indeed, not only have I heard that I am mistaken, but such is the 99% cacophony pouring out of every pore of academia, the media, publishing, and everywhere else one turns. All my life, that's all I've heard. How no real truth is, wink wink, the sophisticated view. So having to put up with the same monolithic wall of no real truth that everyone else has to put up with, I just thought I'd mention that I already know how wrong all the allegedly sophisticated types claim to think I am. So all that 1,000,000,000 to 1 odds notwithstanding, I submit that this understanding that I'm presenting of what truth is fulfills the criteria of being accurate to nature and is highly relevant and very, very highly useful in our time. Even though everyone, and I do mean everyone, else seem to project this great certainty that I'm wrong, that truth is different for everyone. And I further submit that the other understanding, the one held by the other 6 billion people, or however many, the one about no real truth, there's only perception, and all that other Nazi baloney, is all wrong, in every way, for everyone, very much including all wrong for every one of them by their own standards. I'm right when I say truth is singular, and they're all wrong when they say it's different for everyone. They're all wrong, going back to Socrates and long before, every last one of them, by their standards as well as mine. So, the following is what I mean when I use the words truth and accuracy. First of all, this bioecosystem works on a singular reality system, in which illusions play a mostly helpful role. Accurately identifying some part of that singular reality is what is meant here by truth. a proper definition. The word truth refers to a description that conforms to some part of the singular, never-changing, hard, cold reality arranged by the 5 billion year old bioecosystem at this star. When something is true, it has the properties of being singular, absolute, and consistent with everything else that's true. And it is the same for everyone, and never changing. That is, constant for all time. Definition of what truth is. That's first. Second, one-third of the mind, one-third of the thinking process of each individual person is, by evolutionary design, well equipped to accurately identify that singular reality. As regards first-hand observations, 98% of what any person sees, everyone sees in the same way. And that common perception matches up with the singular reality of this bioecosystem. Those are the facts of nature that I use as the basis of my use of the terms truth and accuracy. The problem of people being mistaken regarding what they think is true derives not from a mistaken first-hand perception. No. It derives from a person believing another person to be speaking honestly, when that other person is consciously, deliberately misreporting perceptions. Believing other people to be speaking honestly when they are in fact lying about what they understand. That is the 95% reason for being in error about reality. It's not a person's 5 senses that are betraying them, nor their intelligence. Rather, what is betraying them is believing one who knowingly lies to be a sincere person. That's the killer. Difference between truth and perception of truth. Perceptions are a collection of neurons and electrons in the mind, a picture, so to speak, of what the person thinks reality is, of what the person thinks the truth of something is, of what the person considers an accurate description of reality. A picture of reality is different from reality itself. Reality being the actual thing itself that the mind has a picture of. It's pretty easy to imagine, like with a camera, a picture of something is different from the thing that was photographed. Most people have enough experience with things to notice the difference between the thing you're taking a picture of and the picture of it that you now have. The difference between the photograph on paper example and the perception of truth in the mind example is that the photograph is a recording on paper and the perception is a collection of electrons and neurons recording the circumstance in the mind. When you look at a tree, the picture of the tree that you have in your mind is different from the tree itself. The tree, the thing you're looking at, is part of singular reality. Singular reality, which is the same for everyone and never changing. But although in this or that case, your mind is 99.9% likely to give you an accurate picture of reality, sometimes it doesn't. The point is, whether or not your mind gives you an accurate picture of reality, the picture in your mind is a different thing from the part of nature's singular reality that you're looking at. The whole business of the truth being a different type of thing from perception of truth is not that hard to understand. The problem is, many people claim to think that there is no real reality, no solid world out there. They claim to believe that there's only people's perceptions, really, just illusions, different for everyone, no singular constant reality to refer to. Thus, when such people talk, they aren't interested in what's true. They claim to think there is no real truth. They figure there's only whoever can project their perceptions most strongly. Thus, the things that people who are in that frame of mind say are never designed to match up with what's true, since for them, there is no real truth in the first place. Just who can look more sure of themselves? All they can think of is who can project the strongest perception. No real truth, only the power to project and enforce perception. This does not in any way match up with the bioecosystem we happen to be living in, even though the vast majority of the world's most prestigious individuals insist that they are absolutely certain of it. That is, are absolutely certain that there is no real truth. One more time. When something is true, it has the properties of being singular, absolute, and consistent with everything else that's true, and is the same for everyone and never changing. That is, it is constant for all time. And 1/3 of every human being's mind evolved specifically for the purpose of discerning exactly what that same for everyone singular reality is. One further note regarding the idea of truth as commonly understood. The illumination of the nature of truth shown above is one of the features of this paradigm that distinguishes it from all other large-scale plans. In various religious systems, and some fascist systems as well, truth is understood to be absolute and singular, but it is claimed an ordinary human cannot figure out what the absolute truth of something is, because they are not smart enough. Only God is smart enough to figure out the absolute truth, and an ordinary mortal must depend on belief in the Word of God or some holy messenger. In the allegedly enlightened capitalist view, on the other hand, the reverse is said to be true, namely that people are plenty intelligent, but still they can't figure out the truth of something because there is no real truth in the first place. And among various mysticisms, New Age ideas, and free thinkers, it is often claimed that both there is no real truth, and even if there was, an ordinary human does not have the cognitive, rational capacity to figure it out anyway. Thus, A, religion. Yes, there is absolute truth, but you're not smart enough to figure out what it is. B, capitalism. Yes, you're smart, but there is no real truth to begin with. C, New Age and mystical thinking. There is no real truth, and people do not have that sort of massive, rational cognitive capacity anyway. The fourth possibility is the one that everyone berates, but no one, until now, seems to hold. Namely that this bioecosystem works on a singular reality system in which illusions play a mostly helpful role. And when something is true, it has the properties of being singular, absolute, consistent with everything else that's true, the same for everyone, and never changing. That is, constant for all time. And each individual inherently possesses the internal cognitive conscious ability to determine exactly what that same for everyone truth is. Again, religion. Absolute truth, but people can't figure it. Capitalism. People are intelligent, but there is no absolute truth. New Age and mysticism. No absolute truth, people couldn't figure it out anyway. Paradigm from California, alone among the great schemes. There is absolute truth, and everyone has the internal capacity to figure out just what it is. There are some people who might agree that when something is true, it has the properties of being singular, absolute, and consistent with everything else that's true, and it is the same for everyone and never changing. That is, it is constant for all time. However, such persons may also make the inaccurate claim that such holds only for physical objects, not for ideas. In fact, this is not in any way the case. Ideas are every bit as material, and are also either true or not true in exactly the same way as a statement about a physical object is either true or not true. Exactly the same definition holds whether the subject is a physical object or an idea. There is a clear explanation of the difference between physical objects and ideas in the Neanderthal paper elsewhere on this site. Section 1, Introduction, gives a brief summary of this matter. Section 6 and 7, the class member distinction, classroom magic, and Type 2 logic, tomato magic, gives a clear explanation of the distinction between objects and ideas. And Section 17, on ideas as concrete things, wanna be an engineer, explains the fact that ideas have exactly the same true or untrue properties as do physical objects. If readers have any questions about this, I urge them to read those further illuminations regarding this matter of ideas being true or not true, descriptions of concrete singular reality, in exactly the same way as the report of a physical object is either true or not true. As regards the definition of truth given here, it holds in exactly the same way at all logical levels of life. Definitions. The following definitions apply for all Paradigm from California materials. I consulted no reference sources in composing these definitions, but rather concluded from 30 years of reading the several hundred books listed in the bibliography that these are the most useful definitions of the terms defined. Thus, it appears to me that these definitions fit not only for their usage throughout Paradigm from California, but it also seems to me that they fit the most common general usage. Singular reality system. The structure by which the bioecosystem at this planet operates. At another star, or in another galaxy, or in another dimension, it is possible that there is a multiple reality system. But at this star, on this planet, the particular 4 billion year old bioecosystem in which we all live operates on a singular reality system. Illusion. One aspect of the human mind within this bioecosystem is that it is capable of imagining things that do not exist within this bioecosystem. A picture that forms in the mind that is not a report of this bioecosystem's singular reality, but bears some partial similarity to reality, is called an illusion. The ability to conjure illusions is an absolute requirement for life on this planet. Illusions are a required life nutrient. The great problems arise when the ability to distinguish illusion from reality is lost, or when one is confused with the other. This bioecosystem, reality, and illusion. This bioecosystem operates on a singular reality system in which illusions play an often vital and mostly, but not always, helpful role. Truth. The word truth refers to a description that conforms to some part of the singular, never-changing reality arranged by the 5 billion year old bioecosystem at this star. When something is true, it has the properties of being singular, absolute, and consistent with everything else that's true, and it is the same for everyone and constant for all time. Untruth. An untruth is an idea or description that does not conform to this bioecosystem's singular reality, as evident to the cognitive mind of every human. Extremely useful and vital to life untruths. A special kind of untruth that evolved alongside the central nervous system, functioning for the intellect, emotions, and behavioral governance, much the way calories and oxygen function for the more formally understood physiological systems. Helpful untruths are nutrients and are every bit as vital to human life as oxygen, truth, protein, and the other main nutrients. What distinguishes helpful untruths from lie untruths is that in the high-level presentation of helpful untruths, they are never presented as descriptions of literal truth. Lies. Lies are a special sort of untruth, wherein it was originally depicted as true, conforming to singular reality, where it was known by the reporter to be true while being reported as true. What makes the word lie an ugly, anger-provoking word is that a deliberate misrepresentation of a human perception of literal reality puts a person who believes that the liar is being honest, puts that person at high risk of injury or death. More relevant to current circumstances, and deadlier still, believing a lie and mistakenly believing that a liar is not lying, but is accurately portraying human perception, skews a person's understanding of reality in an insanity-producing, imbecility-producing, and highly damaging manner. Lies kill. The everyday social lies and the high-level lies kill. Big time. Just as sure as gas and bullets. In fact, it is lies and lying that drive the bullets. Major. A lie, any lie, about anything, is, quite literally, the social Nazification procedure. And those who most heavily promote those patterns in others are the deadliest Nazification militants of all. Mistakes. In the context of this truth, untruth, lie matter, a mistake is a description that does not conform to singular reality, and which the original formulator perceiver thought did conform to reality, until hopefully he or she found out better. Being mistaken causes no interruption whatsoever in integrity. And in fact, persons of integrity may often be mistaken. It's part of the song. Remember, the person who is quick to acknowledge when they are mistaken is always right. Derived from a Russian proverb, the man who knows he's a fool is no fool. A person with integrity. A person who never gives what they know to be inaccurate reports about what they perceive to be true. One who, it turns out, can be relied upon to give accurate reports of human perception, which in turn engenders a powerful sanity and intelligence in those who look at them. One who never lies about what they understand the truth to be. A liar. A person who sometimes lies about what they understand the truth to be as a general pattern. This term is particularly applicable to those who protect the entire social system that allows deliberate misreports of perception to go undetected. A person who deliberately misreports their perception in order to survive in a particular moment is not necessarily a liar. But a person who lies as a general pattern, who does not acknowledge at the first opportunity, who lies to a person with integrity, or who thwarts exposure of the deliberately misreporting perceptions system altogether, falls fully and directly within the classification of the term liar. Liars generate the deadliest mental toxins known to humans. Both the low-level, everyday liar toxins, leading to local derangement and stupidity among those around them and among the general population, as well as generating the major high-level toxins, such as the preposterous inevitability of work out poorly idea as a general pattern of life. Anger. A mechanism specifically developed through evolution to serve the specific function of informing of the damage wrought by lying. Self-evidently true. A person understands a statement to be self-evidently true when, upon careful scrutiny of the statement, the person has to consciously deceive or consciously lie about what they understand to be true in order to claim to disagree with it. Intelligence. Putting many things together in a way that is truthful and, first and foremost, that solves problems of damage and loss to everyone. Imbecility. Putting a few things together in a way that maims, destroys, and especially destroys solving. The CIA, for example. A reality. An aspect of this bioecosystem, or a report of an aspect of this bioecosystem. Perception of reality. A configuration of electrons and molecules in a person's mind that forms a picture in that person's mind of some aspect of reality. Report of perception of reality. A description given by a person, usually spoken or written, of what that person perceives an aspect of reality to be. Deliberate misreport of perceptions. A deliberately inaccurate report by a person of their perception of reality. A polite way of identifying a person as lying about what they understand. A lie about what one understands. A deliberately inaccurate report by a person of their perception of reality. An angry way of identifying a person as deliberately misreporting their perception. Deliberate misreport perceptions system. A polite way of describing the collection of various methods and techniques by which the general practice of deliberately misreporting perception remains hidden. The Nazification system. the blunt way of describing the collection of various methods and techniques by which the general practice of deliberately misreporting perceptions remains hidden. Deliberate misreport perceptions system conversational conventions. The individual methods and techniques of everyday conversation by which the deliberately misreport perceptions system is kept from being exposed. Those are the definitions as Neil defines them.